Hey guys, internet, everyone who might be interested in the BMC URS AL. That's the aluminum version of their BMC URS, or also called the Unrestricted, as we see there on the lower chainstay. So this is my 2023 model. It is the Model 2, so BMC URS 2 AL or BMC URS AL Two, whatever way. It's the aluminum version, which means you get the aluminum frame. You do still get a carbon fork. I just wanted to go over a couple things about my bike, what I've changed, maybe why I've changed them, those things, and try to do it rather quickly because I'm doing this on my phone and I don't think I've got a lot of space. Anyway, I'm 5'10", and maybe a little bit more with shoes on. I've changed a couple of things on this bike to make it fit me better. The first thing, or the first two things I did, rather, was one, change the saddle. It comes with, I think it's a Cell Royale saddle. This is just a WTB Volt that I've had lying around. Being that it's white and there's some other white bits on the frame, namely the fork, I thought it was a good match. The orange, I'm not really sure where I got the orange from, but the bar itself and the stem have both been changed. It originally came with a 70mm stem, which I felt it was too long for me with that stem. The reach on this medium is 410, and that's quite long for gravel bikes. So in an effort to shorten that up, I did go ultimately with a 60mm and a 45-degree riser bar, or stem rather. I think this is one of those Amazon specials that was something like 20 bucks. The bar itself is a Ritchey Venturemax, the cheapest one. I think it was like 60 bucks or so. And I like it because it's got a lot of flair to it. Ignore my dirty grips because that's our wrap, because that's just kind of what happens. But yeah, it's got a lot of flair to it. I like the shape. It also had minimal reach. I think it's maybe a couple millimeters longer, but I like the drop and I like the shape of the bar there. So when I'm in the drops, it is really nice and comfortable. So this is a 44. The original bar was a 42. And truth be told, I might go back to a 42 or maybe even try a 40 if I'm honest. I haven't made a decision yet on that, just because I think it is still slightly long for me, and narrowing the bar will decrease kind of my stretch essentially, right? So I might end up doing that. Not sure. Let me try to move on. Still the original seat post. I did have a LED light on the back of this, but I had this flipped around and it fell off. Threw on some bottle cages, nothing fancy there. I do have a pump attached to the other side of it. I haven't used it, but it is one of those older pumps from like the 2000s that just happened to fit and clamp onto the bottle cage area. The only other change that I've made is to the crank. This is actually a 165. It came with a 172.5, so went down a bit. Actually pulled this off of my wife's bikes and she ended up getting a different one. It's still GRX 11, which I really like the feel of the GRX group set that's on this. This is, I think, a combination of 600 and 800 parts. Maybe the calipers are 400. Yeah, the calipers are actually 400s, but I believe the brakes are, or the shifter levers, whatever, they're 600s, and then 800 rear mech, I think it's like 812, and then it's a 600 crank. So, you know, I really like the bike, but it's also me not having experience riding nicer carbon frame. So I guess if I don't step a leg and ride a carbon frame, then I'll be content with this. So there it is. Maybe I skipped something, just looking over real quick. I don't think I did. I'll follow up with any questions you guys might have, but yeah, here it is. That's my 2023 BMC URS AL Two in size medium, and yes, I've got a stick holding that thing up. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm just going to do a little bit of a walk around now so you guys can see up close, different angles, and we will wrap this up in under 5 minutes.